who takes the mark and chips it further afield to Big Nick. And Smith gets a hand pass over the top to Fraser. He can go all the way, or he can centre it. Decides to go himself. Fraser. What a goal from Liam Fraser! Up towards right half forward. Mark taken by Fraser. He's already kicked one from this spot. Liam Fraser towards goal! There it goes! Two of the best goals you'll see from Liam Fraser. Party time football. And
one premiership decided, two more this weekend. It's all coming up on EFL TV. Thanks to Ferntree, Gully, Holden and HSV, your local community dealer. And I mentioned that one premier, and that is in Division 2. We'll get to that with the EFL's media manager and a host of the other games. 2 grand finals and a prelim on offer this week. And in the EFL, Ben Waterworth joins us again on EFL TV. Benny, the mighty rival boys got up.
Yes, well, plenty of happy faces out at Jubilee Park on Saturday half. Great win by the Hawks. They were a little bit down at quarter time. Montrose did get the jump on them at the start, but Cody Morris, the guy's been overseas the majority of the year, come back in with about a month to go, qualified to play in the finals and kick 4 goals. And well, I don't know if he was the difference, but he certainly played a big part in the victory. And
Montrose had an extremely big year, extremely positive year. They were disappointed with that.
Yeah, I think that's an understatement. Half they've struggled against Roval all year. They lost 5 games for the year, Montrose, and 3 of them were actually to Roval as well. So Roval certainly had their measure. They actually lost Brett Johnson midway during the third quarter, which is probably the play you don't want to lose as well. It's with that experience as well. So that was a big loss for them. He didn't play any further part sort of after midway during the third quarter. So big loss for Montrose, but well done to the Hawks.
Well done to Roval. Divi 1 for them next year in the EFL, which will be fantastic. Great effort in the Choose Tap final series, which continues this week. And Divi 3, more Hawks in action. We've got the mighty boys from Glen Waverley taking on North Ringwood, who are in their 3rd grand final in a row. Can they finally?
Not quite.
Can they win one?
Not their 3rd grand final in a row. Their third final series in a row. Their 2nd grand final in a row. I'm going on the 3rd time lucky kind of theory here, half. I went back and watched Brett Moore's interview with Dan Century a couple of weeks ago. He was on EFL Sunday last weekend. I reckon they're just primed for this one. What he said last week, or the last couple of times he's had a chat, was that he went in and played a few players that were maybe under a bit of an injury cloud when he probably shouldn't have played them, including himself as well. He admitted to that. They've had their fair share of injuries this year, but I think they've managed it a little bit better. It's cost them maybe a couple of extra losses, but I think they're primed for this one. Guys like Jack Whelan has been a revelation in the midfield this year. Only 19 years old, but is their leading goal kicker coming out of the midfield. He's a star. Watch out for him. Maxi Mells has apparently been one of the players of the final series so far.
No surprise.
In Division 3. One of course, your old boys are there, half.
Max.
So I just think they have too many winners on the field. Fia Tutu, he's a great defender, but I think the North Ringwood forwards might be able to get on top of him. Scott DeKeyser did a good job on him last time. Expect him to go there as well. I think the Saints are primed for this one. 3rd time lucky, in my opinion.
That's at East Burwood on Saturday. It's going to be an absolute corker. Good luck to both teams. Of course, I am cheering for Morley and the Saints to finally get over the hump. Good luck to the Saints on that one. Divi 1 got the Choose Tap preliminary final this week, and it's going to be a corker. Norwood, who finished top of the table in Divi 1, take on Baldwin, who had an impressive victory last weekend against Scoresby. This game, of course, at Bayswater Oval.
Most definitely, they had a great game. We're out there first hand and saw Baldwin tear Scoresby to shreds, basically, and very impressive. Maybe the form team of Division 1. Vermont might have something to say about that, but there's a great vibe around Baldwin at the moment, and Dan Senchik actually headed out to SEN Park half and had a chat with Dan Donati.
Welcome out to SEN Park. We're with a very excited man ahead of a preliminary final this weekend against the Norwood Football Club. Dan Donati, welcome to EFL TV.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Very important clash this weekend for a spot in the Division 1 Choose Tap Grand Final. How's training been so far leading up, and what's training consisting of tonight?
Mate, tonight will be pretty light. Obviously, we played 2 finals, both Sunday games, and 6-day turnaround. So, mate, it should be pretty light tonight. The boys will have a bit of a run around, a bit of a jog, a bit of a touch work, and just to freshen ourselves up.
In terms of expectations at the start of the season, you took over as a senior coach from Dan Harford. What did you expect to be making a prelim final, and was it part of the Daniel Donati plan?
Absolutely. My expectations were top 3. We finished 4th on the ladder, which a little bit disappointed with in the end. We were a bit unlucky to miss, I think, but that's the way it goes. Such a close year. So to make a prelim, that's expectations, and obviously, once you're there, you want to go further. So
the ledger this season between Norwood and Baldwin is 1 apiece. Earlier in the season, I think he's got them, and then Norwood got you later in the season. What do you take out of both games, good and bad?
Oh, look, first game was a red-hot clash out here. It rained a little bit. It was tight all game. We played a really good quarter, got in front and held on. Out there on their ground, really tough. They played their ground really well, really organised. We ran out of legs on their ground that day. We lost the bench in the last quarter. And, they probably deserved to win that day. So, mate, even Steven, 1-1, it'll be tight, that.
And your back line this season, obviously Rod Crowe was gone. Who's been able to stand up in his absence, and especially this weekend when Norwood have got Johnson up forward and, of course, McCormack and English and players like that?
Oh, look, our backline's been fantastic all year. Johnny Muirheisen's been super. Probably led the backline in Rod Crowe's absence. Obviously, getting Crowe back for the finals has been extremely handy. He just straightens us up down there and organises things. But Jared Wright, Stevie Kenner has played a lot of the year up back, but played forward as well at times. And, Jared Churgwin, young fella, and Ed McCutcheon on the weekend, again, another kid. So our back six has been pretty stable and I think across the board really consistent.
You mentioned Luke Barker on AFL Sunday last weekend as training the house down. What other players are training the house down so far this season and in the finals?
Yeah, Barker's training the house down. He just keeps hurting himself on the weekends and coming off the ground. Look, I think standout trainers, Jeff Goebbels trains like almost no one I think I've ever seen, and it shows with his work rate in the ground on the weekend. He's as fit as they come. Ryan McMahon, just an unbelievable trainer, and Rennie Gilchrist, he's a skipper, but geez, he trains hard.
In terms of coachable blokes, you just mentioned Ryan McMahon, obviously played VFL. Must be really handy as a coach having such a coachable midfield.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, you're experienced. Ben Harris, who's 28, played a lot of football. He's my assistant coach. Great right-hand man for me. Shooters, doesn't say a lot, shooter, but what he says, the boys listen. And you tell him to do anything, he'll go and do it for you, mate. So, and Shane Tregear's played VFL football, played in the Waffle. Those guys, yeah, lucky, no doubt about that.
Who do you see as the biggest threat this weekend for Norwood? I mean, they're a very defensively minded side. They're a very well-coached side. They know how to shut sides down, and your side's a very attacking side and runs hard both ways. Who do you see as the most threatening players?
Yeah, look, I think their midfield's good. English hurt us last night. I rate him. He's a good player. He's a big fella. He plays midfield, plays forward. Johnson, you mentioned, can play. Their back line in particular, they've got a very good back line, and we need to try our best to exploit that in some way. I rate that. And look, I certainly rate Clayton. I think he can play really well. Plays in the wing, goes in the midfield. He didn't play against us last time. Certainly hurt us out here. So, mate, they're a very, very even, consistent team. So we're going to do our homework this week.
Is it a matter of taking it 1 week at a time? Obviously, it's a cliche in football clubs and everything like that, but a very handy opponent in Vermont are in the grand final the week after if you can make it through. And in terms of having their measure this season, you seem to have their measure. Have you been able to sit the boys down and maybe just calm them down a bit, take it 1 week at a time, or...?
It is an old cliche, and it's funny you say it because I was thinking to myself on the way here. Finals is you can't look further. If you're in an elimination final, you can't look any further. No. We've played 2 eliminations already, and we play another one this week. So, to be honest, I haven't even started planning or looking for Vermont yet. I went and watched them last week because they played Norwood. We played them round 2. Yep. Irrelevant. That was another season ago now, so completely irrelevant. That game we played them out here, and we got the better of them that day. But like I said, a completely irrelevant game. Different teams, both sides. So. Not even thinking about Vermont this week because if you don't beat Norwood, you don't get to play Vermont anyway. So it's just been all about Norwood.
That's right. Daniel Donati, thank you very much for joining us on EFL TV.
Well, there you heard from the coach of the Mighty Baldwin Tigers, Daniel Donati, former Noble Park champion himself in the EFL. See how he goes this weekend against the might of Norwood, who, as I mentioned, finished top of the table. Lost last week. A disappointing performance, it has to be said, when you look at the scoreline. You didn't see the game. Can they back it up?
I don't know, Half. As I said last weekend, Norwood, they're in uncharted territory. They haven't been in this kind of position before. They only kicked 3 goals on Bayswater Oval last weekend, which I think is a huge concern. Baldwin know how to play Bayswater Oval. Of course, they've been there over recent seasons. I just can't go past Baldwin. They knocked out Scoresby last weekend. They knocked out Noble Park the week beforehand, so that's the runners-up and the premiers of the past 2 years as well. That's some pretty damn good form line, in my opinion. I just think the Baldwin are in too good a form at the moment. Norwood's performance last weekend really turned me off them. Baldwin for mine.
Okay, the Mighty Baldwin Tigers, which would mean a Vermont-Baldwin grand final, which would be outstanding.
Be very, very large. 2 powerhouses of Division 1 going head-to-head would be great, but they've got to get through this game in the weekend.
Yeah, it's not over yet, but juicy that would be. Okay, Benny, we might take a break, mate, and come back shortly and talk about more footy action in the EFL.
Maybe they didn't see, but the kick by leg went up towards the Bronski's direction. Oh, breaks 1, breaks 2, surges on goal. It might swing back, Ben Bronski's just in the nick of time, and he salutes the crowd as well. What a terrific kick, and that's what they needed too, the Magpies.
One thing we love about the Eastern Football League is always full of initiative, and this year, Benny, I'm hearing whispers of a Mark of the Year type competition. Can you tell me more?
I can tell you plenty more, Half, because right here on EFL TV exclusive style material, Half, we've got a Mark of the Year competition. Clubs have been pretty good at sending in some of the great marks throughout the season, and I've picked the best 3 during the week. There's some absolute beauties. One of the best things about our game, Half, is the marks, and we've got some high flyers. Check these marks out, the 3 best marks in 2012.
Thanks very much to Braden, next to Akira, urgent care. Henley goes long inside for Dick Galena.
Oh!
Martin Sue. Wow, he flew like you would not believe on the siren.
It's going to be tough, Benny. It's going to be tough to pick the winner, but everyone involved in the Eastern Footy League and EFL TV viewers as well can get involved.
They certainly can, Half. Just on that, those three players, they weren't injured in that. They did have to get some oxygen masks because they were quite high in the altitude
Very
there.
cold up there.
But they came back down and all in one piece. Look, everyone from players to viewers here on EFL TV can get involved. What you have to do is a poll will now be down on the bottom left-hand or the bottom right-hand side of the EFL website. With the poll, you can go there and vote for those three marks.
EFL.org.au.
That's the one. You'll be on there watching that right now. So vote for one of those three marks. The winner of the three marks, the player who's adjudged the best mark in 2012, wins a Trojan Tools kit valued over $150, Half. So very nice. Great to have Trojan Tools on board this year. Keep on delivering all the time. But EFL TV fans can get involved as well, Half, as per usual. If they send their favourite mark, so A, B or C, mark A, B or C, so if they can send that to competitions at efl.org.au, and if that mark is adjudged the best on the EFL poll on the EFL website, they're in the running to win another Trojan Tools kit valued at over $150.
Viewers prize.
Viewers prize.
Wowee. Fantastic. Trojan Tools. Great stuff. Great support of the EFL.
Most certainly are. Yeah, most certainly.
A, B, C, competitions at efl.org.au to be in the chance to win the Trojan Toolkit. Great stuff. Righto, Benny, more news for us. We've got the SEN Teams of the Year being announced.
Yeah, certainly have. On the huddle, we had a couple of weeks ago, we had the Division 2 squad announced, a 30-man squad that will obviously be trimmed down to 22. Yep. And last night on the huddle, we had the Division 3 and 4 squads announced. So great to have SEN's partnership back on board. With that, I reckon it's a great way to recognise some of the best players in each division, and some of the younger guys always like seeing the names up there. Of course, the sides of 22 will be named on Chandler Medal Night in early October as well. So watch out for that one.
All right, check out the website for more details on that, who is in the squads for those as well. And some other news on the website. I saw a letter from Rob Sharp re the competition structure in 2013. Tell me more. Yeah,
Sharpie's been busy at work, and he's done a fantastic job in letting everyone know about the structure for 2013. That won't change from season 2012. Okay. So we'll see 12 teams in Division 1, 10 in Division 2, 12 in Division 3, and 11 in Division 4. One team goes up, one team goes down in the relegation. So Doncaster, Coldstream and Croydon all go down. Roval goes up, and we'll find out, of course, who will go up on the weekend's grand finals in Division 3 and 4. Rob also talks about a proposal that was put to the board a couple of weeks ago at a board meeting that talks about all 4 divisions starting on the weekend of April 13 and 14 next year, and having a split round for Division 1 midway through the year. So it means that we can still stagger the grand finals, and it means that Division 1 we can wait a little bit later on, and services we play more games on better services as well. So that's a bit of an initiative that's been put to the board of late.
Okay, well, that's very good. Check out the letter from CEO Rob Sharp on the website, which you're on to be watching us. So good luck to you there. Righto, Benny, we might take a break, come back and get our teeth into the Divi 4 grand final. It's going to be a corker.
Might just land short. They'll be having to dump it through. Hardeman at the back. Step around the body from Madison. Hardeman, it's a goal! Look at Big Madison. The Ricky Nixon lookalike puts one through for Baldwin.
All right, the Divi 4 grand final is on this weekend at Walker Park, the MCG of the EFL, some people tell me through the EFL forum. It's going to be a beauty. It's got the Basin, who have been a dominant team in Divi 4, taking on South Belgrave, who got over Sylvan last week in the prelim. Benny, what's going to happen?
Basin have been undefeated all season, and you just can't pick against a team that's gone undefeated right throughout the whole season. We saw these two teams firsthand a couple of weeks ago when they played in the second semi-final, and I just think that the Basin weren't at their very best then, and they still won by 24 points. The Basin and South Belgrave have met 3 times this year. The Basin have won all 3 encounters, and I reckon they'll be able to make it 4 in a row. A couple of younger guys in that midfield, like Max Kruger and Trevor Mills, were in fantastic form that day. I think they'll be able to continue that through. South Belgrave, they've been there and done that over the past couple of years. I just think that the Basin are ready to take that next step into Division 3. A fantastic mix of youth and experience. Todd Power down back. He's very, very old, Daniel, but he's very old, but he's probably playing the best football he has for quite some time. He's doing a fantastic job. Up forward, too many options. Coltrera, Galicio, Dembraba running through that midfield. I just think there's too many positives for the Basin. Even though Tommy Halloran's back for South Belgrave, who will make a big difference, he's a class young player, the Basin for mine to go up in Division 3.
Well, it's going to be a beauty. They have been the dominant team, as you say, Benny, and probably right that they win this game. But grand finals throw up different results every year in every competition. So, well, good luck to the South Belgrave boys as well. And Toddy Power, you just keep trucking on, brother. You just keep trucking on. And, of course, that game covered on 98.1 Radio Eastern. It's the game of the round.
Most certainly is. We've got 2 games. The Caravan of Courage, 2-2, is going off to East Burwood on Saturday to cover the North Ringwood and the Glen Waverley Hawks, the Division 3 Choose Tap Grand Final. So make sure you tune in from 1 till 6 p.m. on 98.1. And, of course, streaming on EFL.org.au. Then on Sunday, of course, we're at Walker Park for the Basin and South Belgrave. So 98.1 FM and EFL.org.au are the places to be on the weekend.
The whole media team do an outstanding job with their coverage of the EFL. And on behalf of all the supporters, Benny, I want to tell you that to your face.
Thank you, Daniel.
You do a great job, and
Much
your team does an
appreciated.
outstanding job. And we look forward to much more of that on the weekend. Good luck. Have a great time.
Thank you very much, Daniel. We'll catch you next week.
Benny Waterworth, the EFL's media manager on EFL TV. Have a great weekend. The penultimate round of EFL footy this week. And next week we get our teeth into the Division 1 Grand Final. Have a great weekend.
Tackled as he kicked. Umpire said play on. He didn't have enough prior opportunity. Now Goebbels. He's kicked one from this spot from 50 metres out. Jeff Goebbels towards goal. He's got his third.
Wow.
And Ballin are on fire at Tormore Reserve.